Christmas and no music? I don't think so. Today we're going to do the musical journey of Christmas. And how are we going to do that? By going and checking out what are the top 3 songs of all time. This show begins now. Welcome back. I'm Dr. Mario, your show host here at Health, Spice, and Life. Well, when we think about Christmas, we just can't think about the holiday without having music. So today we're going to be checking out what are the top 3 songs of all time when we think about Christmas music in English here in the United States. But then, here's the clincher. Obviously, we have to have some Latin flair in there. And we're going to go and travel into the Latin world of music and find out what are those songs that are the top songs for the Latino world for this special holiday. What's interesting is cultures all over the world are shaped by religion in many ways, by people's beliefs. And when we think about the Christmas music here in the United States, as it is in many parts of the world, the religious traditions have also significantly influenced that. But it's not just religion. As it turns out, some of the top songs of the American Christmas songbook have actually been shaped by war, by difficult times. And in the first song that we're going to be talking about is actually Jingle Bells. Would you believe if I tell you that that song goes back to 1857, the 19th century, where that song was actually composed? And it has carried on not only in the 19th century, 20th century, but also into the 21st century. Who doesn't go into the store to buy their Christmas gifts and you always hear that jingle bells back in the background? It's just such a popular song that is part of this songbook. And it has actually been used in many different languages all over the world. But then we go into another song which was popularized in the 1940s. Believe it or not, this song goes back to 1942, and this is where Second World War shaped many of the songs and music that was actually played during that time. And White Christmas is about that longing for that special time, being surrounded by your loved ones, being in your home. And this particular song was popularized by the famous singer Bing Crosby. So, and who hasn't heard that song? And even if you're not in a place where there's a lot of snow, like it was my case growing up, you can't help but just travel along with the song and just have those images of the snow falling, people being in front of family or friends being in front of a fireplace, everybody getting cozy and celebrating that special time of the year. And then we go into 1945, and here's another top song in the American Christmas Songbook that it was also shaped by times of war, and it is the song I'll Be Home for Christmas. You think about soldiers and people being abroad in foreign lands, fighting these wars, and just longing for that moment that they'll be going back home and celebrating this time of being solemn, being quiet, being around the loved ones, having that dinner at the table, and just rejoicing and rejoining with those that they loved. So interestingly enough, those are some of the top 3 songs of all times in the American Christmas Songbook. But what happens on the Latino side? Do we have those songs as well? Or, in fact, do we have some others? In fact, some of those songs have actually been brought over to the Latino side and popularized by using the Spanish language as part of being able to sing those songs. But there are some others that are a little bit different. And the first one that we're going to be starting with right now is what's called Mi Burrito Sabanero. And that's actually a very popular song. It was composed back in 1970, and the country of origin of that song is Venezuela. And I can tell you, growing up, that was such a famous song. It was so festive, so played. So that's actually a different one that we don't get to see on the Anglo side, on the American Songbook, but is actually extremely popular on the Latino side. Another song that is incredibly popular and has actually reached out to the entire world is Feliz Navidad. Who hasn't actually heard that song before? Feliz Navidad, ta 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 ta. Feliz Navidad. That is actually a Puerto Rican song. It was actually composed by the famous blind guitarist and composer Jose Feliciano. It has actually been translated into other languages all over the world, and it continues to this day to be one of the top most celebrated songs, Christmas songs of all time. But what's next now? In fact, in the Latino world, one song that has actually been extremely popular for many, many, many years is Silent Night, which is the title in English, and in Spanish is Noche de Paz. And that's actually a song that was created by a composer by the name of Gruber in Austria, and it has actually been extremely popular and strong in the Latino traditions, but also has been translated into many, many different languages. Lastly, I actually want to go to one that is very dear to me because I've been able to be involved in singing that particular song, and it's actually from the Argentinian composer Ariel Ramírez. And Ariel Ramírez composed this particular body of work called Misa Criolla, which is actually a Creole mass, if you will, and we translate that into English. And that was composed in 1964, and it has some beautiful pieces. And there's one particular one that I absolutely love, which is basically Navidad en Verano, which is saying Christmas in summertime. So I will be leaving the show with this particular piece. I hope you enjoyed this particular American Christmas songbook, as well as the Latino version of those top songs in this particular songbook. And I hope that you really enjoyed this particular one because not all countries in the world have winter during Christmas time when we celebrate it, and that is the case of the South American countries. So I leave you with this song, Navidad en Verano. And until then, de mi corazón a tu corazón, I'm Dr. Mario saying, a tu salud. Mi Navidad